Hi, classmates. I'm Brock.
And I'm Andrea. Our thoughtful design is on the Minnesota State Parks website.
And we chose the site because we've both used it in the past and will continue to plan for our future recreation. So let's start our walkthrough. Take it away, Andrea.
Okay, so here we are on the homepage for the Minnesota State Parks and Recreation areas. You'll see immediately your eye is really drawn to this main photo in the middle of the page with the log cabin, and that's under the main text header. You'll see also the information that's really most timely is underneath this main photo. So it seems to go with the season, maple syruping, a maps, also a state park library pass. So that's all nicely grouped with these thumbnail pictures associated with the content. You'll see the site kind of set up too here has this top blue heading with overall navigation to some broader categories. And I'll notice that the state parks and recreation areas is actually under the Department of Natural Resources as the home. So this is actually just one smaller part of the DNR's greater website. Also, you'll see on the left side here, we've got some breadcrumbs and then a left side navigation menu, right? So this is really related to the state parks and then the related activities and information. Right, so let's click on maple syruping to just check out what this page looks like. Again, we've got the same site set up with the dark blue banner at the top with the broader categories from us, from the DNR to select from, as well as the left side navigation now that is directly related to winter activities, right? So we can check out some of these different activities like snowshoeing maybe. This we're on maple syruping, and right underneath, again, our eye is drawn to the picture that relates to maple syruping. This gives us some wonderful information about maple syruping, also a video. And then you can see here at the bottom, even we've got an events calendar with some hyperlinks out to maple syrup related events. So Brock and I typically use the state park website for booking campsites. And to do that, we need to find a state park. This summer, I'm super interested in going to Itasca. So I'm going to check out this by A to Z list of the state parks. Here we are with the alphabetical list and hyperlinks out to each one of the state parks. I'm going to scroll down to Itasca. Here we are at the Itasca State Park, and the site setup has got the top blue bar. And we've got the greater navigation, the left side navigation. This time the navigation is directly related to Itasca State Park with some different categories from the pages that we've already looked at, right? We'll notice too, again, this main part is exactly how we've seen it before, but now we've got a notice. We've got a little bit different contrast with this gold area and the indication that we need to know some things that might be related to our visit. Again, with the main picture kind of describing why you might actually want to visit the park. And that is because it is the beginning of the Mississippi River. Also, fun fact, it is the oldest state park. So you'll see that it's got some related pictures that we can click on, shows where the park is located on a map with some contrast there. Minimal colors, but again, we've got some contrast indicating that there's another alert that we need to be aware of information that might relate to our visit. We scroll down even further and we'll see park highlights, some other kind of hyperlinks, and then information related to the park that seems maybe a little bit less important. Also some related state forest campgrounds. All right, so Brock and I are taking a look at, though, staying in Itasca State Park. So to do that, we need to go to the reservations area using the left side navigation. You'll notice that it pops out into a new area, a new tab, and the site looks totally different from what we were in the DNR. So we can tell you why we use the state parks website. That's part of the DNR's larger website. We can tell you why it works for us. We can tell you why we like it and why we don't necessarily like it. But we're here to tell you the aspects of visual hierarchy that it uses as part of its thoughtful design. Take it away, Brock.
All right, so I'm going to focus on a few of the pages that Andrea already showed us from the aforementioned visual hierarchy, the focus of which is based on three components: color and contrast, scale, and grouping. Looking at the first, which is color and contrasting, the Minnesota DNR homepage is consistent with its color scheme. The colors are consistent yet somewhat bland, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as the page is pretty easy to read and view. The information is faster to find, the colors don't add any cognitive load to the user. There isn't much contrast between colors or the color saturation, which again isn't the bad thing. There's no flashing lights or colors that are hard to read or that don't really go with each other. There's kind of a deep blue, as we mentioned, a little green in the Minnesota logo that's consistent, as well as in the search bar. And then everything else is pretty white with blue lettering for the links. As the purpose of this website is informational, it is more important that the user can read what's on the page in front of them. So the main advertisement of the slide takes your focus and shows you links to the trail conditions, a current relevant link to save the user some time, as they would be drawn to it first. And if that wasn't the user's goal, they would be able to quickly scan and see the alternative possible links that they could be looking for on those side tabs under popular links, which again are very easy to read and view. Next up is scale. The pattern in the scale is one that's very easy to follow. The most important information for key links is displayed at the top in a larger font. When you hover over destinations, we can see that the drop-down menu pops up. Destinations actually focus on locations. So if we click that, we get links to where they are. Everything is scaled the same, with the smallest font being consistent around the page. It's still pretty easy to read. The visual hierarchy that we were using recommends that the use of no more than 3 font sizes, which very clearly is followed here. There are no parts to the site that conflict in size, unless it's intentionally to draw the eyes, like in the previous slide with the advertisement in the link. But everything is about the same font size. I see no more than the 3 recommended as well. And then next, we're moving on to grouping. Again, using another part of the website that Andrea focused on, we can see how the website utilizes grouping in a specific way. When I view this part of the page, I see the 3 distinct parts. My attention would first be drawn to the graphic, which is a good quality graphic, good visual. Makes me want to go snowshoeing. You can see that it seems to have been taken in Minnesota, and it doesn't use an out-of-place stock photo with one that would have, like, say, mountains in the background. I see a link that would let me check the trail conditions if I wanted to. And then the next 2 sections would be this bottom part and the part on the side here. And I think my eyes would naturally go to the bottom part, which again, I see enjoying outdoor all year long information, has a little paragraph, and then all the links to the activities, plus an option to plan out the summer if you so would choose. And then if we go third distinct part here, same information. If you scroll down, lots of the same information from both parts, but also finding a state park, so it gives some locations. This is logical grouping of information. On the side, we've got the repeated information, we've got the parks, we've got the enjoying all year long, and we've got our advertisement. The grouping there is for easy access for booking or wherever you would want to go next.
All right, some recommendations for the site improvement are to have more hyperlinks to the reservations page, because there seems to be a lot of going back and forth. And then also to maybe bring the reservations page as an outside platform more inside the DNR's main website. As far as accessibility, there's been a lot of initiatives in the park lately. And so we thought that it would be necessary to include some more filters on the reservation site to help people actually find the campsites that they need if they are looking for accessible campsites. And then we also wondered how those sites are actually being managed and prioritized for the folks that need them.
And then for our research questions, we were looking at related to the frameworks of CLT and MMT. Is there any sort of bias produced due to expectations established by our brains based on the repetitions that we saw in the structure or the color? And then for usability structure, how could the reservations page connect more efficiently with each state park's site?
Awesome. Thanks for joining us for our critique.